The global music industry is once again under the spotlight as Taylor Swift's latest album continues to record extraordinary worldwide sales while drawing public praise from NFL star Travis Kelce. Since its release, the album has rapidly established itself as one of the most commercially dominant projects of recent years, reinforcing Taylor Swift's position as a cultural force whose influence extends far beyond music. From the moment the album became available, demand surged across multiple markets. Sales data from the first days of release indicate exceptional performance in the United States, the United Kingdom, Europe, Asia, and Australia, with the album debuting at the top of numerous national charts. Streaming platforms reported massive traffic spikes, with hundreds of millions of plays accumulated in a remarkably short period. Physical copies, including limited and collector's editions, were quickly sold out in several regions, signaling strong purchasing power even in an era dominated by digital consumption. Industry analysts have described the album's commercial impact as both rare and strategic. Taylor Swift's release model, which combines physical formats, digital distribution, exclusive content, and carefully timed promotion, has once again proven effective. Experts note that the success is not solely driven by hype, but by long-term audience trust built over years of consistent storytelling and brand control. In a market often characterized by short-lived viral hits, the sustained momentum of this album stands out as a defining achievement. Critically, the album has also received widespread acclaim for its lyrical depth and cohesive narrative. Reviewers highlight the maturity of its themes, which explore reflection, resilience, vulnerability, and personal evolution. Rather than presenting isolated tracks, the project unfolds as a continuous emotional journey, encouraging listeners to engage with the album as a complete work. This approach has strengthened listener retention and fueled ongoing discussions across social media and fan communities. Amid the global attention, Travis Kelce emerged as a notable voice of appreciation. The Kansas City Chiefs tight end publicly praised the album, calling it an impressive and powerful body of work. His comments quickly gained traction online, becoming a trending topic across entertainment and sports media. While brief, the acknowledgement resonated with fans and commentators alike, reinforcing the sense that the album's impact reaches audiences well beyond the traditional music sphere. Media observers note that Kelce's response was perceived as genuine rather than promotional, adding to the album's credibility. The intersection of music and sports through this moment further amplified public interest, demonstrating how Taylor Swift's work continues to shape conversations across multiple cultural arenas. For many fans, the recognition symbolized broader acceptance of the album as a significant artistic and commercial achievement. As sales figures continue to rise, speculation around the album's next phase has intensified. Fans are closely analyzing lyrics for hidden meanings, potential autobiographical references, and connections between tracks. Theories regarding upcoming music videos, surprise releases, or a future world tour have fueled sustained online engagement, ensuring that the album remains a central topic of discussion weeks after its debut. From a business perspective, the album's success has generated ripple effects throughout the entertainment ecosystem. Merchandise sales have increased sharply, brand collaborations have regained momentum, and related digital content has seen elevated engagement. Analysts emphasize that few artists are capable of mobilizing such a wide-reaching economic and cultural response with a single release. Looking ahead, industry experts predict that the album may continue breaking records as promotional activities expand. Historically, Taylor Swift's projects tend to gain additional momentum through live performances, visual storytelling, and strategic announcements, suggesting that current figures may represent only the early stages of its overall impact. In summary, Taylor Swift's latest album has not only achieved remarkable global sales, but has also reaffirmed her status as one of the most influential artists of her generation. The public appreciation from Travis Kelce has added a high-profile dimension to the narrative, highlighting the album's reach across diverse audiences. As anticipation builds for what comes next, one conclusion is already clear. This release is not just a commercial success, but a defining cultural moment whose full story is still unfolding. The momentum surrounding Taylor Swift's latest album shows no signs of slowing down. In the weeks following its release, Updated figures reveal that global sales continue to climb at an aggressive pace, placing the album firmly among the fastest-selling releases of the decade. Music distributors in several regions have reported restocks due to sustained demand, while digital platforms confirm that daily streaming numbers remain consistently high rather than tapering off, an indicator of strong long-term listener engagement rather than a short-lived surge. Market observers point out that this sustained performance reflects a rare balance between commercial appeal and artistic credibility. While blockbuster releases often peak quickly, this album has demonstrated steady growth driven by repeat listens and word-of-mouth recommendations. Fans are not only consuming the music but actively dissecting it, sharing interpretations, and drawing emotional connections that extend the album's lifecycle far beyond its initial launch window. Internationally, the album's influence has been particularly notable in emerging markets. In parts of Southeast Asia and Latin America, where streaming growth has been accelerating, the project has broken personal records for Taylor Swift, surpassing previous releases in both first-week and cumulative streams. Local media outlets have framed the album as a defining release of the year, highlighting how its themes resonate across cultural and linguistic boundaries, despite being deeply personal in nature. Critics have also emphasized the album's production choices, noting a refined balance between minimalist arrangements and expansive soundscapes. Producers involved in the project are being praised for allowing space within the music, giving the lyrics room to breathe and encouraging listeners to focus on storytelling. This sonic approach has been credited with enhancing emotional immersion, making the album particularly effective when experienced from start to finish. The cultural conversation has extended beyond music journalism into broader commentary on celebrity influence and narrative control. Analysts observe that Taylor Swift has once again demonstrated a rare ability to frame her own story on her own terms. Rather than responding to speculation directly, she allows the music to speak, subtly guiding public interpretation without explicit clarification. This strategy has fueled intrigue, prompting ongoing discussion while avoiding overexposure. Travis Kelce's continued presence in the public narrative has added another layer to the album's media coverage. Though his comments were limited, subsequent interviews and public appearances have kept the spotlight active. Entertainment outlets note that the crossover attention between NFL audiences and pop music fans has expanded the album's reach, introducing it to demographics that may not have otherwise engaged as deeply with the Taylor Swift release. Social media metrics further illustrate the album's staying power. Hashtags related to specific lyrics and song titles continue to trend days after release milestones, while fan-generated content, including reaction videos, lyrical analyses, and creative reinterpretations, has accumulated millions of views. This user-driven engagement has effectively transformed listeners into active participants in the album's success, reinforcing its visibility without relying solely on traditional promotion. From an industry standpoint, executives are already referencing the album as a case study in sustainable release strategy. The coordinated timing of announcements, the pacing of content drops, and the emphasis on narrative cohesion are being cited as lessons for future major releases. Several insiders suggest that the project may influence how labels approach album campaigns moving forward, particularly in an era where attention spans are increasingly fragmented. Economically, the album's success has translated into measurable gains across multiple sectors. Concert promoters are reporting heightened interest in potential tour announcements, with pre-registration numbers exceeding expectations despite no official dates being confirmed. Retail partners have seen increased foot traffic linked to album-related merchandise, while licensing inquiries for film, television, and advertising placements are reportedly on the rise. As the album continues to dominate headlines, speculation surrounding its long-term legacy has begun to surface. Commentators are already debating where it will rank within Taylor Swift's broader discography, and whether it represents a transitional moment into a new creative phase. Some critics argue that the album reflects a synthesis of her past styles, refined through experience and confidence, while others see it as a deliberate step toward a more introspective and controlled artistic identity. Awards season conversations have also emerged earlier than usual. Although official nominations remain months away, industry insiders suggest that the album is likely to feature prominently across major music award categories. Its combination of commercial performance, critical reception, and cultural impact positions it as a strong contender in multiple fields, from songwriting to overall album recognition. Despite the overwhelming success, Taylor Swift herself has maintained a relatively measured public presence, allowing the focus to remain on the work rather than on external narratives. This restraint has been interpreted as a strategic choice, reinforcing the album's themes of reflection and emotional clarity. Fans and critics alike note that the absence of excessive commentary has heightened the sense of authenticity surrounding the project. Looking forward, the question dominating industry discussions is not whether the album will continue to succeed, but how far its influence will ultimately extend. With additional visuals, potential live performances, and possible surprise releases still unannounced, many believe the current phase represents only part of a longer, evolving campaign. Each new development is expected to reignite interest, sustaining momentum well into the coming months. In the broader context of contemporary pop culture, the album stands as a reminder of the enduring power of cohesive storytelling. At a time when music consumption is often fragmented into playlists and short-form clips, Taylor Swift has once again demonstrated that a carefully constructed album can still command global attention, inspire deep engagement, and drive substantial economic impact. As global sales continue to rise and public conversation shows no sign of fading, one conclusion becomes increasingly difficult to dispute. Taylor Swift's latest album is not merely a commercial triumph, but a landmark release that reflects the evolving relationship between artist, audience, and narrative control. With appreciation flowing from fans, critics, and high-profile figures such as Travis Kelce, the album's journey appears far from complete, leaving the industry watching closely as the next chapter unfolds. The continued expansion of this album's influence has now entered a phase that industry insiders describe as institutional dominance. Major chart-tracking organizations report that the album is maintaining top positions longer than most contemporary releases, resisting the usual decline that follows the first 2 weeks. This endurance has strengthened predictions that the project will remain a benchmark release for the year, not only in pop music but across all major genres. Radio airplay has also contributed significantly to the album's sustained visibility. Several tracks have entered heavy rotation across multiple formats, from contemporary pop stations to adult contemporary, and even crossover placements in international markets. Programmers cite listener demand as the primary driver, noting unusually high call-in requests and digital engagement tied to specific songs. This multi-format success has further expanded the album's demographic reach, bringing in listeners beyond Taylor Swift's core fanbase. Meanwhile, global press coverage continues to frame the album as a defining moment in Swift's career trajectory. Publications have emphasized how the project reflects an artist operating at the peak of her creative and commercial control. Unlike earlier eras marked by reinvention or conflict narratives, this album is widely interpreted as a statement of stability, confidence, and authorship. Analysts argue that this clarity has resonated strongly with audiences navigating uncertainty in their own lives, giving the album an added layer of emotional relevance. Travis Kelce's association with the album narrative has also evolved organically. While he has avoided extensive commentary, even brief references during interviews or public appearances consistently make headlines. Media analysts note that his restrained approach has prevented overexposure, allowing public curiosity to remain intact. This dynamic has reinforced the perception that the album's success is rooted in substance, with personal support functioning as a complementary, rather than central, element of the story. On social platforms, engagement metrics continue to outperform expectations. Songs from the album are being used extensively in short-form video content, soundtracking everything from personal storytelling clips to large-scale influencer campaigns. Data analysts point out that this trend has extended the album's lifespan among younger audiences, who often discover tracks through social sharing rather than traditional listening habits. As a result, the album has effectively bridged generational divides, appealing simultaneously to longtime fans and first-time listeners. Educational and academic circles have even begun referencing the album in discussions about modern songwriting and narrative construction. Several music theory commentators have highlighted its structural coherence, thematic callbacks, and lyrical motifs as examples of advanced pop composition. This level of analysis, typically reserved for legacy works years after release, underscores the project's immediate cultural weight. Financial analysts tracking the entertainment sector have also taken note. Stock movements for companies tied to distribution, merchandising, and live entertainment have shown minor but noticeable fluctuations following major album milestones. While not unprecedented, the scale and consistency of these effects reinforce the idea that a Taylor Swift release operates as an economic event, capable of influencing multiple layers of the industry simultaneously. As anticipation builds around potential live performances, speculation regarding a future tour has reached a fever pitch. Although no official announcement has been made, ticketing platforms report record-breaking interest registrations linked to Swift-related keywords. Concert industry experts suggest that when dates are eventually confirmed, demand could surpass previous tour benchmarks, driven by the album's narrative cohesion and global reach. The album's thematic resonance has also sparked broader cultural conversations about authenticity, creative ownership, and longevity in the digital age. Commentators argue that Taylor Swift's approach challenges the prevailing assumption that relevance requires constant reinvention or controversy. Instead, the album presents a model of sustained engagement built on trust, consistency, and emotional transparency. From a historical perspective, comparisons are already being drawn between this release and landmark albums from previous decades. Music historians note parallels in how certain works come to define not just an artist's era, but the broader musical landscape of their time. While such assessments remain preliminary, the frequency of these comparisons indicates the scale of the album's perceived importance. As weeks turn into months, the narrative surrounding the album continues to evolve without losing momentum. Each new data point, whether related to sales, streaming, or public commentary, reinforces the sense that this release occupies a unique position within the current music ecosystem. Rather than peaking and fading, it appears to be settling into a sustained presence, shaping conversations across media, culture, and commerce. In this context, the appreciation voiced by Travis Kelce takes on symbolic significance. It represents not only personal support, but also the album's ability to resonate across traditionally separate cultural spheres. The convergence of music, sports, and mainstream media around this project illustrates how deeply embedded Taylor Swift has become in the fabric of contemporary popular culture. Ultimately, the ongoing success of the album reflects a broader shift in how audiences engage with music. Listeners are not merely consuming songs. They are investing in narratives, identities, and shared moments. Taylor Swift's latest release has capitalized on this shift with precision, offering an experience that feels both intimate and expansive at once. As the album continues its global run, industry observers remain focused on its long-term trajectory. Whether through future visual releases, live interpretations, or unexpected creative extensions, expectations remain high. What is already clear, however, is that this album has transcended the traditional boundaries of a release cycle. With global sales still rising, public discourse still active, and cross-industry recognition continuing to build, Taylor Swift's latest album stands as one of the most consequential releases in recent memory. Its story is still unfolding in real time, and as new chapters emerge, the world continues to watch, listen, and respond. The ripple effects of this release are now being felt on an even broader scale, reaching corners of the industry that are rarely influenced by a single album. Media monitoring agencies report that Taylor Swift-related coverage has maintained unusually high visibility across international news outlets, a sign that the album has shifted from entertainment news into mainstream cultural reporting. This sustained attention underscores how the project has become part of a larger global conversation rather than a momentary headline. Streaming behavior analytics reveal another compelling trend. Unlike typical releases where listeners gravitate toward one or two hit singles, this album shows a remarkably even distribution of plays across its full tracklist. Analysts interpret this as evidence that listeners are consuming the album as a complete narrative experience. Completion rates, a metric that tracks how often listeners play an album from start to finish, are reportedly well above industry averages, reinforcing the idea that the project is designed to be absorbed holistically. The international fan response has further elevated the album's status. In several countries, fan-organized listening events and pop-up gatherings have drawn significant crowds, blurring the line between a studio release and a live cultural event. These grassroots movements, largely coordinated through social platforms, have amplified the album's presence without formal promotion, demonstrating the power of organic fan mobilization in the digital age. Music critics continue to revisit the album weeks after its debut, publishing follow-up analyses that explore its layered storytelling. Some have noted recurring lyrical motifs that only become apparent after repeated listens, adding depth and replay value. This delayed discovery effect has been cited as one of the reasons the album continues to gain traction rather than losing momentum. Each revisit offers something new, encouraging ongoing engagement rather than passive consumption. Within the recording industry, executives are increasingly referencing the album during panels and private discussions as an example of long-form artistic investment paying off. At a time when single-driven strategies dominate, Taylor Swift's insistence on album cohesion is being viewed as both a creative and commercial risk that has paid dividends. Several label representatives have acknowledged that this release may influence future signing and development strategies, particularly for artists capable of sustaining narrative-driven projects. The album's influence has also extended into fashion and lifestyle media. Outfits, color palettes, and visual themes associated with the release have sparked trends, with fans and influencers recreating aesthetics inspired by the album's imagery. This crossover into visual culture has further reinforced the album's omnipresence, turning it into a multi-sensory brand moment rather than a purely auditory experience. Travis Kelce's role in the broader narrative continues to be a point of interest, though it remains understated. Sports commentators have observed a noticeable uptick in crossover engagement, with segments of NFL audiences showing increased interest in the album. This unexpected demographic expansion highlights the album's reach and the subtle way in which personal associations can broaden cultural impact without overshadowing the work itself. Academic commentators have begun situating the album within discussions of authorship and agency in contemporary pop music. The project is frequently cited as an example of an artist exercising full creative control while still achieving mass appeal. This balance between independence and accessibility has been described as a rare accomplishment, particularly in an industry often constrained by commercial pressures. Financially, projections suggest that the album's long-tail revenue potential may rival or exceed that of previous major releases. Beyond direct sales and streaming, licensing opportunities are expected to play a significant role in sustaining revenue over time. Insiders report heightened interest from film and television producers seeking tracks that align with emotionally driven narratives, further extending the album's lifespan. As attention gradually shifts from immediate performance metrics to legacy considerations, comparisons with Taylor Swift's earlier work have intensified. Some critics argue that this album represents a culmination of themes explored throughout her career, refined through experience and perspective. Others see it as a foundation for an entirely new chapter, one that prioritizes emotional precision and narrative restraint over spectacle. Despite the scale of its success, the album's rollout has remained notably measured. There have been no abrupt publicity stunts or oversaturation tactics. Instead, the strategy appears focused on allowing the music to circulate naturally, supported by carefully timed appearances and minimal commentary. This approach has been widely praised for preserving the album's emotional integrity while sustaining public interest. Audience sentiment analysis indicates a strong emotional attachment to the project. Comments and reviews frequently reference feelings of connection, validation, and reflection, suggesting that the album resonates on a deeply personal level for many listeners. This emotional investment is often cited as the key factor behind its sustained popularity, as listeners return to the album during different moods and moments. Looking ahead, industry watchers remain attentive to potential turning points in the album's life cycle. Whether through a major live performance, an award season milestone, or an unexpected creative expansion, any new development is likely to reignite conversation. The album's current trajectory suggests that it is positioned not just for immediate success, but for long-term cultural relevance. In the broader narrative of modern pop music, this release stands as a reminder that scale and substance do not have to be mutually exclusive. Taylor Swift's latest album demonstrates that careful storytelling, strategic patience, and authentic expression can still command global attention in an increasingly fragmented media environment. As global charts continue to reflect its dominance and public discourse shows little sign of fading, the album's story remains very much in progress. With appreciation flowing from fans, critics, industry leaders, and figures like Travis Kelce, the project has secured its place as a defining release of its time. What lies ahead may still be unwritten, but the impact already made ensures that this album will be discussed, studied, and remembered long after the initial release cycle concludes. As the album continues its unprecedented run, new data emerging from global music markets further reinforces its exceptional trajectory. Chart analysts now confirm that the project has not only sustained its top-tier rankings, but in several territories has shown upward movement weeks after release, a phenomenon rarely seen in the streaming era. This pattern suggests that the album is benefiting from delayed discovery, as new listeners continue to engage through recommendations, social discourse, and media coverage rather than initial hype alone. Broadcast media has also played a growing role in extending the album's reach. Television features, radio discussions, and cultural commentary segments across international networks have increasingly framed the album as a landmark release rather than a routine chart topper. This reframing has introduced the project to audiences less active on digital platforms, broadening its demographic footprint and reinforcing its mainstream relevance. Behind the scenes, sources within major record labels describe the album's performance as a reset moment for industry expectations. Internal reports circulating among executives reportedly highlight the project as evidence that long-form releases, when executed with precision and authenticity, can outperform short-cycle strategies. Several executives have acknowledged that the album's success is prompting renewed investment in artist development and narrative-driven projects. The album's songwriting continues to draw particular attention from critics and cultural commentators. Detailed breakdowns of lyrical structure reveal deliberate pacing, emotional escalation, and thematic callbacks that reward attentive listening. This craftsmanship has been cited as a key reason listeners return to the album repeatedly, uncovering new layers with each play. In this